Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 My Team career mode with me, Dan, and the Radiant Racing team. We're coming to Canada today for round 5 because I actually missed a day on the upload schedule in the past week because I had to go to our other office for work, so I wasn't able to get this thing finished in time. I was very tired by the end of that day, so I could only finish Azerbaijan and get that one uploaded a day late. So there'll be an extra video this week for all of those people who still watch this channel and enjoy the content we're putting out. Anyway, don't forget F1 22 is coming out soon, so don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know when that's going to be happening. I'll give you a clue, it'll be on the day of the pre-order release, which is the 26th, I believe. Anyway, going on to the starting grid order, and we're on pole position for a race that we've won twice in this career mode, alongside Max Verstappen on the front row. And then we have our teammate Sean Gallel, he's alongside Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez, followed by the two Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Then we have Pierre Gasly. For once, he's not joined by Fernando Alonso, alongside alongside Charles Leclerc. Then we have Fernando Alonso alongside Carlos Sainz. Behind them, outside of the top 10, we have Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, still not able to make it into Q3, followed by Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon. Further down the order in P15, Lance Stroll starts in the same position again alongside his teammate Jack Aitken, followed by Mick Schumacher in the Alfa Romeo and George Russell in the Williams. And finally, on the final two rows, we have Antonio Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi, and last but not least, it's Christian Lundgaard and Nikita Mazepin. Well, here we go. It's a wet Canada. We've won here twice in the past over the course of the My Team career. We did one in the co-op career actually as well, until we were overtaken at the final corner. In fact, that's actually in an unreleased season, so spoiler alert there, we did get beaten at the final corner by Nick, but that season hasn't been completed and probably will never be completed. Anyway, into turn 1 we go. Max Verstappen leads the way ahead of us, and Sean Gallel tries to get past us in the first couple of corners. He has been unsuccessful, but our teammate has been looking very racy recently. We have by far the best car on the grid, so it's enabled him to definitely shove his way up the order in quite a lot of cases. Unfortunately, the difficulty level is so high for me to make it fair on the AI that actually I'm struggling to match some of them in a lot of these races, and especially Max Verstappen, who seems to be incredibly overpowered throughout this entire season, repeatedly driving off and leaving everyone for dust. Just like he is now. 2 seconds up the road is Max Verstappen, but thankfully though, Sean Gallel sticking it on the podium still at the moment. Let's see if he can stay there for the next 18 laps as we go on board with the restart, with the race start, as you can see how wet it is out there. Coming down into turn 1, Verstappen was already way ahead of us, and then we've got Sean Gallel. Very careful not to get too feisty with him, just in case we put both of us in the barrier. We are, of course, in the midst of a Constructors' title fight. As we put a wheel on the grass there, it makes us go a little bit wide into turn, whatever that one is, turn 4. Anyway, let's go on board with Sean Gallel, who basically breaks his own wrist as he pulls away off the start, covers Bottas and Hamilton behind him, and slips it round the outside into turn 1, then the inside into turn 2 here. And as we run down towards the chicane, he does get put on the non-optimal line, and a bit of oversteer there just allows us a gap to creep through. Not that we're complaining. Anyway, we'll rejoin on lap 5. We've managed to catch Verstappen at the cost of leaving our teammate quite far back, as Lewis Hamilton sits within half a second of him. Thankfully, no DRS, and Gallel seems to be handling quite well right now. As we see our big slide there out of the hairpin, and we're just within half a second now, with just under a third of the race completed. Coming into the Wall of Champions, very close there on the barriers. Was incredibly slippery. as we come down towards turn 1. Do we get to see? Yes, we do get to see on board. I'm doing a slow-mo for the first time ever on the channel. And this was happening quite a lot in this race. You can see how close we are there. It's just inches away from grazing the barrier with the rear wheel. As we rejoin. Oh, we've had a massive off there, actually, on lap 10. It's still quite wet out on track. But the rain seems to have stopped. And we're approaching a pit window. As we come around the hairpin once again. Verstappen still...
Box.
Well, Verstappen still quite far ahead of us as we get the call to come into the pits. Yeah, he comes in as well. Coming down the pit lane. Galeo, is he going to be coming in as well? He's not come shooting past, so it looks like he might be. Yes, he is, actually. He has come in, so we've actually stayed out a little longer there, just to try and get onto the dry tyres. So, although there's a lot of water on the track still, it's definitely not looking that dry. We are, of course, gambling with the mediums, as now we go to challenge Carlos Sainz on a damp circuit. This is going to be very dangerous for Verstappen, being gifted an opportunity here to escape, as we try and slide our way past Carlos Sainz without going off of the dry line, at the risk of just randomly spinning out, as F1 2021 really likes us to do. But Carlos Sainz pulls over to the side there, and he's just not going to be able to defend this. Apparently, this is the point at which the track is dry, and you can see we're able to go through here quite rapidly now, despite the fact the rain clouds still hang overhead and the track is quite clearly very wet. I say that as we get a big lock up there into the hairpin. And now we're left in a very unfortunate position because Max Verstappen is 3 seconds up the road nearly. Valtteri Bottas, of course, will be coming into the pits. There he goes. And now we've got to do exactly what we did at the start all over again, except this time we're on the dry tyres instead of the wet ones. So who knows what Verstappen could pull out of the bag here. Chances are he's not going to lap anyone, considering that these races are not long enough to be lapped. By the way, if anyone would like to see longer races, I would love to do them. Unfortunately, I just don't have all the time in the world. Maybe if the channel does grow a lot over the release of F1 22, I will consider it, but I don't want to overstretch myself as we go on board with Sean Galeo, who is still holding off Lewis Hamilton, the now 8-time world champion. As we come into the Wall of Champions, he remains ahead. The Radiant Racing car still incredibly fast in a straight line, quite clearly. As we come around the first couple of corners with Sean, just to see what's going on. And clearly doing okay on his own at the moment as we rejoin us with just a few laps to go. And Sean Galeo, well, he's now currently nearly 9 seconds behind us, but we are only 6/10 behind Max Verstappen, and this is where things get a little spicy now. 3.5 laps to go. And with a Red Bull that close, we've got DRS. He does seem to be quite fast out of the hairpin as we come down towards the final corner. We close up quite rapidly there to within half a second. Now we're going to get the DRS once again. Bit of a delay on opening there, but we're over the grass. And are we going to have a look down the inside? Yes, we are. We're going to look down the inside of Verstappen. He cuts us off there. Nearly shaves a little shark bite out of the front wing. In fact, there is a dent out of the front main panel there of the front wing. It'd be interesting to know if that was from that incident just there, as we chop and weave our way through the trees of Montreal. And well, we're going to get another DRS zone again. We're within half a second. This might be enough to get past him. No, but we are going to tailgate him like a white van man. Coming down towards the hairpin. We're going to go on board, actually, for that move. So we go up the inside of Verstappen. We knew he was going to turn in. We had to just cut the corner because we were never going to get round there on the track without crashing into the back of his wheel. We rejoin the action Coming up to the end of lap 16, on to lap 17 now. We got the DRS once again on Verstappen. We're going to go around the outside into the wall of champions. He's still ahead of us. Very brave on the brakes is Max Verstappen. Even the AI on 97 difficulty is really giving us a run for our money right now. But we're going to slipstream him again. We're incredibly fast in a straight line, especially in the slipstream. We just need to be close enough in a DRS zone. And this win is as good as ours as we go absolutely ploughing through here. Right on the back of the gearbox of that Red Bull as we come round onto the next DRS straight. Surely now we are close enough. 3 tenths behind. DRS is open. We go to the right to make Verstappen go defensive. We're going to go left, go around the outside into the chicane. We got a few overtakes here in the last season, and we have got the move on Max Verstappen. We are currently 2 tenths ahead of him, and now we've got to try and pull a Changalel. Verstappen actually tried to go up the outside of us there. We blocked him. And somehow we've got to do what Changalel has been doing for the entire race, and that is try and keep a Mercedes behind us, or in our case, a Red Bull, which has DRS and the slipstream, and potentially a very full battery, as he's going to try and go around the outside of the final corner. We do stay ahead of him, but he's going to get another chance into turn 1 now, as we go on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. He's going to look around the outside into turn 1. Who's going to be later on the brakes? We're going to go side by side into turn 1. Oh, there's some contact there with the front right wheel of our car and in the front left of his, as we come round into the chicane. We're going to go on board, actually, and have a look at that incident there as we try and go around him. He does cut the corner quite substantially there, but then again, the AI do seem to do that. And this was us going around the outside of him, making that move just a bit beforehand. And we'll go back on board for the incident where he nudged us there with the wheel. It's just wheels banging, which is good to see. Nothing too damaging to the car. But anyway, we rejoin. He is trying to go around the outside of us in the DRS zone. We cut over the corner just to say thank you very much for doing that to us earlier on. Come down towards the hairpin and hard on the brakes. We're going to try and get a good brake out of here. Speed away. We've pulled half a second on him. I think he's given up at this stage, given that we did cut him up and take a bit more corner than we really should have done. But then again, he did do the same to us. And the sun has begun to come out as we round the final corner in Canada. And for the 3rd season in a row, we take the checkered flag and the win. And we've had a huge accident on the finish line, as we have done in multiple races prior to this one. But the Canadian fans once again greeted to the same pomp and circumstance as we pick up driver of the day again. Well, 3 wins in a row at the same circuit. That is quite an achievement. One for champions, you would say. Of course, we don't actually know yet whether or not we're going to win this championship or not, because it's been incredibly close the past 2 seasons, and I expect it will be incredibly close during this one as well. Anyway, our teammate Sean Galeo is going to be joining us on the podium as well, which is always good to see. Of course, Joe Guan Yu may have been up there this season had he remained with the team, but unfortunately, due to my incompetence, we've got Sean Galeo. But he's turned out to be quite good, as it turns out, in the best. We have to give him the best car, but he hasn't been too bad. Pretty much the whole season, actually. I think he's scored points every race so far. Apart from Portugal, when he decided to give up. Anyway, let's get on with the race results. And here we are with the race results. Of course, we picked up the win over Max Verstappen, and we got the fastest lap, and joined on the podium by our teammate. Then we had Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly round out the top 10. Moving on to the Drivers' Championship, and we extend our lead very slightly over Verstappen, now 23 points ahead of our rival. Then we have Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, our teammate Sean Galeo closing in on 4th. Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, and Charles Leclerc actually moves up into the top 10, joined with Gasly. Further down the order, we have Lando Norris just 1 point behind 9th/10th. then Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon, and the final point scorer being Lance Stroll. Then we have Jack Aitken, Antonio Giovinazzi, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Christian Lundgaard and Nikita Mazepin. Finally, over in the Constructors, we're closing in on Red Bull now. We're just 3 points behind them. Then it's a jump back to Mercedes on 83 points, followed by Ferrari, who move up into 4th, just 1 point ahead of McLaren. Then we have AlphaTauri a little way behind them, followed by Alpine and Aston Martin, and then Alfa Romeo, Williams and Haas. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one.